I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. One of Steve Bannon's closest associates and business colleagues, an exiled Chinese billionaire who goes by the name of Guo Wengui, also Ho Wan Kwok or Miles Guo, was just arrested and charged by the Department of Justice for engaging in a $1 billion fraudulent scheme. I will talk about the charges and an indictment that was just unsealed in a moment, but just to remind you who Guo Wengui is and how close he is to Steve Bannon. When Steve Bannon was arrested in 2020 in connection with his conduct in the We Build the Wall scam, where he received money that was supposed to be private money that was fundraised on a GoFundMe site to build the wall that Mexico was supposed to pay for. When the Department of Justice and the feds arrested him, Steve Bannon was on a yacht, massive yacht owned by Guo Wengui. Also, right before the 2020 election, you may recall the audio recording of Steve Bannon in a room full of people saying that no matter what the election results are, our plan, Trump's plan, is that we are going to declare victory and try to overthrow the government, essentially, regardless what the outcome is. That took place in a group that was assembled by this Chinese billionaire exile, Guo Wengui, who also, again, goes by the name of Ho Wan Kwok, as well as Miles Guo.
Steve Bannon, a former Trump chief White House strategist and outside advisor to President Trump, spoke to a group of his associates from China and said this.
And what Trump's going to do is just declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner.
Very close to Bannon, Guo Wengui also is a major fundraiser for the modern-day Republican Party. You may recall, for example, this post by CPAC, which says, "Thank you, new federal state of China, for your support of CPAC in DC 2023 and being a partnering sponsor for our event. Balloons are above us, but CCP is among us. Visit NFSC at Media Row booth 31 and 32 at CPAC 2023. The new federal state of China was a purported nonprofit shell that was run by Guo Wengui, who was engaged in a $1 billion fraud scheme, Chinese exiled billionaire, who was the one who was giving money to CPAC and to Bannon and to others, who was now charged by the Department of Justice for engaging in this fraudulent conduct. So let's just go through the charges. In sum and substance, basically, Guo Wengui controlled a kind of vast media empire, if you will, that he used to fundraise all this money that he said was going to be invested. He raised hundreds of millions of dollars and basically stole the money. And I said media empire may not be the best word for it because it was kind of went under the radar because it was a series of kind of Chinese-run media companies that spread a lot of disinformation and spread the conspiracies about Hunter Biden. So when Bannon and Giuliani stole the laptop, one of the ways they would distribute Hunter's laptop and likely manipulated the contents therein, though, was through Guo Wengui, this individual who put it out through his outlet, who also used the media outlet to raise these, maybe even $1 billion based on this indictment, and then used it to buy himself yachts and Ferraris and homes and all these luxury items.
And now let's take a quick break to talk about our next partner, Fume. Be smart, don't start. Kick the habit. Put it out before it puts you out. All phrases we've heard 100 times, yet we still continue to have bad habits. Now, as you may know, I have a horrible habit of grinding my teeth that just drives me up the walls. Well, our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. Instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious flavors. With an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap, your fingers will always have something to always do. Now, look, I didn't expect much out of Fume when I first got it, but the minty sensation is really powerful and it really hits the back of your throat in a good way. Also, the design is super sleek. My own experience with Fume has been game-changing. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. It's Fume's goal to make switching easy and even enjoyable. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who've successfully switched when other solutions just didn't work. Head to tryfume.com and use code Meidas to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. That's tryfum.com and use code Meidas to save an additional 10% off your order today. And now, back to the video.
So let's just go into the Department of Justice press release about the arrest and the charges. It talks about how Guo Wengui, who also goes by the name of Miles Kwok or Hoan Kwok, or Brother 7, or the principal, along with a colleague by the name of William G., with various wire fraud, securities fraud, bank fraud, and money laundering charges have been filed. Then it goes on to say J.E., who is Kwok's financier, is also charged with obstruction of justice. The charges in the indictment arise from an alleged sprawling and complex scheme by the defendants and others to solicit investments in various entities and programs through false statements and representations to hundreds of thousands of Kwok's online followers. As alleged, Kwok and G misappropriated hundreds of millions of dollars in fraudulently obtained funds during the course of their conspiracy. Kwok was arrested this morning in New York and will be presented this afternoon. G is currently at large. In addition, Mr. Williams, who's the prosecutor, announced that between September 2022 and March 2023, the U.S. government seized approximately $634 million from 21 different bank accounts. The $634 million constitutes proceeds of Kwok's alleged fraud, which the government will seek to forfeit. Today, law enforcement also seized assets including Lamborghinis, the Lamborghini Aventador, which was purchased by money from the fraud. The United States Attorney Damian Williams explained, as alleged, Hoan Kwok, who also goes by the name of Guo Wengui, known to many as Miles Guo, led a complex conspiracy to defraud thousands of his online followers out of over $1 billion. Kwok is charged with lining his pockets with the money he stole, including buying himself and his close relatives a 50,000 square foot mansion, a $3.5 million Ferrari, and even 2 $36,000 mattresses, and financing a $37 million luxury yacht. As alleged, Kwok lied to his victims and promised them outside returns if they invested or provided money to his so-called Himalaya Farm Alliance G Clubs and the Himalaya Exchange. Kwok is further charged with laundering hundreds of millions of stolen funds to conceal the conspiracy's illegal activities and continue the fraud's operation. And so one of the things, though, that I am interested in seeing here, though, is if this will be a domino effect of others within the Republican Party, as Guo Wengui was one of their major donors. You see, he basically was one of the main supporters of the Cult PAC or CPAC convention, and one of the biggest backers of Bannon, and was used as a conduit for the MAGA Republicans to spread conspiracy theories about Hunter Biden and to try to destroy our democracy. And look, one of the things we pointed out again on our Twitter account is the new federal state of China is a group created by Guo Wengui and Steve Bannon. They were major sponsors at the recent CPAC event, and this is very, very concerning. You know, one of the other things that just occurred, and it's a kind of weird personal coincidence, is that there was a fire that took place in a building where Guo Wengui apparently lived at. And what's interesting about it is that I was I'm in New York right now. That's why you see me in a hotel room, and I have a series of meetings here that I had to attend. But I was just at a meeting right by the hotel where Guo Wengui stays at, and there was a fire there. I didn't realize that was the hotel. And I was on the phone with some of the others, my other brothers who work at Meidas, and I said, it smells like fire around here. Not at the hotel I'm staying at, but at the one that was right by where my meeting was. And I didn't piece it together, but apparently in the rooms where Guo Wengui actually lived in this hotel, that's what caught on fire. So it's being investigated as a suspicious fire, and it was just a strange personal coincidence. Here, I'll show you the photo. This is a photo that I took before I even made that connection. The hotel is called the Sherry Netherland Hotel in Manhattan. So, once again, we see everything the MAGA Republicans do is projection, right? Here you have a exiled Chinese billionaire who is essentially the one funding the MAGA Republican Party. The MAGA Republicans want to talk about corruption and this and that. They're funded by an exiled Chinese billionaire who engaged in a $1 million fraud scheme and who's living in 50,000 square foot homes and driving Ferraris based on the money stolen from investors. And this is, the close ally of Ben. And this is who the MAGA Republican Party is today, folks. Anyway, we'll keep you posted on this development and more. I should just mention also, in addition to the Department of Justice filing a criminal indictment, the SEC also filed a civil case, of course, based on securities fraud to basically shut down Guo Wengui from doing business ever again here in the United States. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. So please hit subscribe. Also, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. You'll love the content we have at our Patreon, but most importantly, it helps grow this independent media platform. So check us out there. And also, wherever you get your audio podcast, just search for MeidasTouch Podcast and subscribe. All right, we're marching to 1 million subscriber, folks. So please hit the subscribe button right now. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas.
Love this video? Then you'll love the MeidasTouch podcast. Listen as my brothers and I break down the latest news and chat with top political leaders on the fastest growing pro-democracy podcast in the world. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. Add the MeidasTouch podcast right now wherever you listen to your podcasts.